Hello everyone. Till now we have discussed about the pin diagram and internal architecture of 8255. In last class we have seen that this read-write control logic is responsible for the generation of control signal for this 8255. So this unit is responsible for the control word generation. So first we will discuss what is control word format for 8255 IC, and by using that control word the operating mode of 8255 is decided. So as per the requirement of interfacing circuit or as per the requirement of user, the operating mode is selected, and for the selection of this operating mode we have to frame control word for the particular IC. Suppose this is 8255 IC, so we have to draw control word format. We have to derive control word from the control word format for the particular problem. Whatever the problem given to you, you have to frame your control word on the basis of that problem. We will see the numerical problem on this control word formation. Before that, you must know about the control word format. How we will generate control word. So basically this control word consists of 8 bit. The first point is that is to be noted. What is that? The control word of 8255 is of 8 bit. It means it consists of 8 bits from D0 to D7. You can see easily there is D0 to D7. D0 is the least significant bit and D7 is the most significant bit. This is the MSB and this is the LSB. So this is the least significant bit. Now, what is the meaning of each bit? D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6 and D7. Again, this 8-bit pattern is divided into two groups. One is group A, another one is group B. 3 bits D0, D1 and D2. These 3 bits. These 3 bits are used to control group A, group B, D0, D1 and D2. So group B consists of port C, lower bits of port C0, PC0 to PC3, and all input lines, all port lines of port B. And D2 bit is mode selection for port B. So what does it mean? If the value of this D0 bit, if the value of this D0 bit is 1, it means port C is acting as an input port. If D0, the value of D0 is 0, it means this is acting as an output port. In the same way, port B is acting as an input or output port. How it is decided? It is decided on the basis of this D1 bit. This D1 bit decide whether port B is acting as an input port or as an output port. Now next, in which mode this port B is working. So this is decided by the D2 bit. You can see this D2 bit. This will decide in which mode port B is acting. If this is 0, then this is working in mode 0, and if this is 1, this is working in mode 1. So in this way, group control signal for the group B is generated by using only 3 bits of control word D0, D1 and D2. D0 decide the decide or give the indication about the port C, whether it is input or output. D1 give indication about port B. D2 give indication about the mode of working or operating mode. Now next 4 bit, that is from D3 to D6. These bits provide control signals for this group A. Group A consists of all the lines of port A and higher lines PC0 to P7 of port C, upper lines. So in this D3 bit, this D3 bit decides whether port C is acting as an input port or output port, and D4, this D4 decide whether port A is acting as an input port or an output port. How this is decided? One thing you have to remember, if the value is 1, then then that line or that port is acting as an input port. And if the value of D3, D4, D1, D0 bit is 0, it means that port is acting as an output port. So D3 and D4 decide the what is the function of this D4 and D3 bit? These bit decide whether port A and port C are input port or output port. Now next, these two bits, that is D5 and D6. This is this D5 and D6. These two bits decides the operating mode. What is the operating mode of 8255? So these are 2 bits. Then there are 3 possible mode. 00 for mode 0, 01 is for mode 1, and 1 for the mode 2, and 1x, this is don't care. So this is for the mode 2. So this is the detail of all the bits from D0 to D7. Now the last bit, that is D7. This will decide that 8255 is operating in input output mode or BSR mode. 8255 IC can work in 2 modes, that is input output mode or BSR mode. So if the value of this D7 bit is 0, if the value of D7 bit is 0, then this 8255 IC will work in BSR mode. What is BSR mode? BSR means bit set and reset mode. And if the value of D7 bit is 1, then this will act in input-output mode. So this is all about the control word format of 8255. So the value of D0 to D7 bit decides the control word of this programmable input output word. Whenever you are interfacing this IC with any input output device, the first task that you have to do, that is derive the control word. And how you will derive? Based on your requirement. How many input devices you have to connect, how many output devices you have to connect. So, and at what memory location you are doing all operations. So all these things you have to decide before designing an interfacing circuit. So this is all about the control word of 8255. So I will end here. Thank you.